I knew there were stages of grief. I didn't know there were stages of chaos. But whatever stage we're in now with Donald Trump's administration engulfed in flames with chaos, we're in the one where the Department of Justice and the FBI are battling it out in public. Because the Department of Justice, currently run by one of Donald Trump's former criminal lawyers, Emil Bove, who's over his skis, doesn't know what he's doing, is issuing commands to fire senior FBI leadership and make lists. Where am I? Communist China? To make lists of FBI agents that did their job by investigating the Jan 6 insurrectionists and turn that list over to the Department of Justice, while Kash Patel, who's trying to get the job as the FBI director, looks the Senate in the eye and lies to them and says there will be no political retribution firings of FBI agents. Wake up, Kash, you're lying already, because it's happening. The Department of Justice is firing everybody, and the Department of Justice is meeting fierce resistance by the FBI, being led particularly by Brian Driscoll, who is the acting FBI director for now, formerly of the Newark, New Jersey field office, who basically, according to other agents, told the Department of Justice they could go do something anatomically impossible to themselves. He's not turning over those lists. Now, it was such a forceful response that insiders of the FBI can't believe that he still has a job, but he still apparently has a job. I'm Michael Popok. I'm going to cover the fight in broad daylight between the FBI and the Department of Justice and what will happen next in the confirmation process of Kash Patel on Legal AF right here on this YouTube channel. I never thought I'd have to report on this. Acting directors fighting it out with the Department of Justice because they're being asked to do something illegal and unconstitutional in retribution, while the guy running for the job says to the Senate that he's not doing that. Let me run that clip for a minute, then I'll respond. Run the clip.
One of your past statements that's concerned me, it's both a post on Truth Social and something you said in a podcast, the Sean Morgan report, that your predecessor, Chris Wray, has broken the law. We need to prosecute him. The FBI should go after people like him. And the month before this, in July 2023, you said there should be a criminal referral for FBI Director Wray. If confirmed, are you going to follow through on these previous statements that Director Wray needs to be prosecuted?
Senator, this reminds me of the conversation you and I had, which I greatly appreciated. There is enough violent crime in this country and enough national security threats to this country that the FBI is going to be busy going forward preventing 100,000 overdoses, 100,000 rapes, and 17,000 homicides.
We agree that prosecuting violent crimes should be the principal focus of the FBI. What I'm trying to get to, Mr. Patel, is a whole series of very troubling, to me and many other statements you've made about instead using it to pursue those who might be viewed as political opponents.
And as I told you in your office, I have no interest, no desire, and will not, if confirmed, go backwards. There will be no politicization at the FBI. There will be no retributive actions taken by any FBI should I be confirmed as the FBI director. I told you that in your office, and I'll tell you that again today.
Kash Patel's a liar. Kash Patel is a liar. I don't know about I and we, but the FBI is being ordered by the Department of Justice to fire people whose only only cause is they investigated Jan 6 insurrectionists. To which I ask this question. I posit this question. Are we to believe that the Trump administration had Jan 6 happened on their watch, which it sort of did, but happened on their watch? Okay, they wouldn't have prosecuted these people, right? If he hadn't lost, they wouldn't have prosecuted the people that attacked law enforcement on the steps of the Capitol, causing 2 deaths and 250 injuries. They would have just been like, give them a pass. They were upset that day. Really? And so now you've got the resistance. Brian Driscoll, the acting director from my home state of New Jersey of the FBI, told the Department of Justice and Emil Bove, the former criminal lawyer for Donald Trump, to go F off, that he was not preparing that list that's due apparently tomorrow on Tuesday to be turned over. I think if that list doesn't get turned in by Driscoll tomorrow, I'm going to do another update that says later that day, that says he's been canned. Yeah. And now you've got others that are in office. There's a lot of them. You can't fire them all. Who's going to run the FBI? Who's going to do the investigating? Who's going to keep you and I safe? So you got also in New York, you've got the acting director of the FBI in New York, James Dennehy, a former Marine officer, who says, well, it reminds me of when I was in battle. Sometimes you just have to dig a little 5-foot hole and hunker down and dig in and keep your head from getting shot off, because he he sent a memo, an email memo, just the other day, just in the last 24 hours to his staff. And here's what he said to his staff in his memo. Today, this is now the assistant director of the New York field office of the FBI in real time, writing to his colleagues in the FBI. Today, we find ourselves in the middle of a battle of our own, as good people are being walked out of the FBI and others are being targeted because they did their jobs in accordance with the law and FBI policy. He then goes on to tell them, you better hunker down and dig in, using an example from when he was a military officer. The fact that I have to report, thank God, on the existence of the Dennehy's and the Brian Driscolls of the world, just shows you how depraved Donald Trump's administration is, and why Kash Patel should pay the price in the confirmation hearing. Problem is, having seen them rubber stamp effectively Pete Hegseth for Department of Defense, I don't see how they're going to come up with the enough people to oppose Kash Patel, although he's obscenely unqualified to be the person responsible for your and my domestic safety. I've done a series of hot takes now about people within the administration, even Republican appointed by Trump people within the administration. USAID, the chief of staff for USAID, told Marco Rubio and Elon Musk to go F themselves. This is a common theme here. He's not going to let the Elon Musk into the USAID department, which was promptly shuttered. That guy was fired, but that guy was a Trump appointee. Just the other day. One of the inspectors general said she's not going to go after 22 years on the job, and they pulled her out, not kicking and screaming, but they pulled her out, physically removed her from her office. But I'm glad she stayed for the time that she did. I'm not sure Brian Driscoll's going to make it much longer at the FBI, but he's making an important point. And I want to expose to the American people and the future voter how Donald Trump is operating, how he's using his henchmen to go after the FBI, who went after the criminals. The criminals are now going after the cops. That's the upside down world that we are in. Yeah. The jailers are now the jailed, as the inmates have taken over the asylum, to continue to mix metaphors here. But it's important that these people stand up for themselves. They're doing it at great political and personal risk, especially given that Donald Trump commands a legion of an unstable, uncontrolled army of people that are willing to pick up weapons. I'm not saying everybody that voted for Donald Trump is insane or mentally unstable, but there is a fair number within that group that are and are willing to go to battle for him. We saw it on Jan 6th. So I'm going to continue to follow this battle royale between the FBI and the Department of Justice that's broken out right here, and what it means for our American democracy right here on Legal AF. I need your help. Take a minute. Just a second, not even a minute, it's a second. It's a flip of your finger. Hit the subscribe button. It's for free. It'll signal to the algorithmic gods you like this content. You need it. You want it. You want it here. I'm going to continue to curate it for you. I'm going full time now with the Midas Touch Network. You know that. Ever since the election. Got two things that I'm doing. Full-time Midas Touch Legal AF, and that new law firm that I just started called The Popok Firm, www.thepopokfirm.com. We're seeking out cases that we can evaluate and take at the intersection of injury and damage and law. You've been injured, you've been damaged in a car accident, truck accident, rollover, medical malpractice, constitutional law violation, employment law violation. You're going to want to come to thepopokfirm.com in collaboration with my team of lawyers around the country, all top in their field, responsible for billions of dollars of recovery at Big Auto. Big Auto injury lawyers join forces with Popok Law to bring you the best and the brightest. That is the best and the brightest around the country for your cases. www.thepopokfirm.com. And of course, my 1-800 number, 1-877-POPOK-AF. Until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.